you will see that under topic 4, the name is topic 5, not 4. Now, for those of you in topic 6, it is topic 6. Those of you in what is community development class, I will require you to review the recording that we had with the rest of the group when we did a makeup with them on the 18th of June last week, Thursday. So click on to go to topic 5, click on to audio conference. It will open. Give it a second to do that. Right, it's opening now. So when it opens, there is a recording. This recording, it's a few minutes. Listen to it. It is a video, actually, not just a recording. It's a video of last week's class, the makeup class, with the other group. Now, at least we are all at the same level. Having said that, our topic today is topic 6. At the beginning of every topic, we have an introduction. I just want to mention what is a proposal and our objectives for the class. By the end of this class, you should define what is a project proposal, identify various types of them and various schools of thought. That is the same. The various types and schools of thought is the same. The key components of a project proposal that you would write to request for funding, the key guidelines, and maybe at the end try and develop your own. We have research topics, we have the notes, you can download them, a discussion forum question that you should attempt, and then an audio conference. I have added this. It's a video. I hope I can play it for you. Let me play it for you as we begin. I think that will be important. And are you able to hear the audio? Are you able to hear it? Okay, I'll see how to upload that in just a minute. You don't need the link, Hussein. The video is already uploaded for you. The video is already under topic 6. I don't want you to listen to it now, but I'd just like to mention, to highlight quickly the key parts of that of that video, and which are basically the key parts of our class today. They are as follows. Now, a project proposal is needs to be fairly detailed at for you to capture key information. I remember mentioning in topic 1, if you have listened to that audio, I mentioned that when you're writing a proposal, you need to entirely identify the problem. You need to identify the solution that you have. You need to identify the partners that you have. You also need to inform them the impact to society, the impact of your solution to society. When you identify those 4 items entirely, the rest is just additions of who you are and why you are applying for the proposal, why you are applying for the money or for the resources you are applying for in kind. Now, there are basically 2 types of proposals. One is solicited, meaning that a company comes up and asks you, it's looking for people to fund. So a company like Safaricom can tell you, we would like to fund people who have solutions for a problem like lack of textbooks to children in primary schools. So that is solicited. They actually come and ask you. We have unsolicited, where you just write a proposal and apply to a company which you know can assist you with the money, or with the resource that you're looking for, but they have not asked you to apply. You are just requesting for funding. Most often than not, they still consider you. Now, for the solicited proposals, you find that they have a template. They already have a form that you need to fill for, and the unsolicited, it's you to come up with your problem, the solution impact, and who will be your partners. When preparing a proposal, it is important that you clarify what I have mentioned. The concept is basically what I've mentioned, how much money you will need, and basically the name of your program. The schools of thought, I said we have to go through this. The schools of thought, we have 3. I believe each one of them was good at certain points in time. The master slave approach is where undeveloped countries like ours, we apply for funding from developed countries, and it was always considered as a disadvantage, like you're borrowing money. Like, the poor countries have no choice rather than to beg money from developed ones. So that's kind of a master slave approach, where you do not have something and then you're looking for it. I don't think that is the right approach when you're writing your proposals. The second approach is a rights approach, where the person asking for the money, they feel as if it's their right to be given the money. I don't think it's also the right approach at this time also. However, it is created by, you're asking, more often than not, you're asking money from developed countries or from institutions that already have them. And so you will find that most people will feel like it's their right, hence the name rights approach. The third approach is what I would like you to use more often than not, because in our last week's class, we said that most NGOs actually nowadays require you to have partners, and the people you're asking money from are actually partners, because nowadays they offer you more than the funding, more than the money. They offer you even the expertise. They can offer to train you. They will offer you a lot. So partnership approach is good, because the different countries, the funder and the person being funded, and I choose to use the word person because a person can represent an individual and a company. Those two, they see each other as equals. They are usually equals. More often than not, they are equals. Now, our format, we come to the format. As I mentioned, other than the problem, solution, partnership, and the impact, the rest are just additions. You have a title page where you have your name, that is either you or your company. It depends. If it's you applying as an individual, then it's your name. If it's as a company, then it's your company with your company logo. Of course, you will have your address. You will have the date that you're applying, and the person you're applying to. Let me give an example of that. I will quickly highlight to you a format of a proposal, maybe that I have done before, and then you can look at it. One that has been funded before, so that you can actually check it out. And next, if you be asked to develop a proposal, you will find it easy. Don't make it complicated. The more complicated it is, the more likely you are to provide information that is confusing. Number two, you need to give a background information. How did you come up with the problem? How did you see the problem? In this case, you are allowed to go personal. You can even say that, for example, at one point, maybe you want to solve crime in your society. Maybe at one point you are mugged, or at one point your family was mugged. You can go personal. Background information you are allowed to do that, as long as it's genuine. It needs to be as genuine as possible. This is your story. Make it truthful. Maybe you have no story personal. Maybe you just say, this is a problem which we think we can solve in society, and at the same time enriching ourselves in terms of funding. We get a few shillings. It depends on how you coin your language, so that you don't sound greedy. And more often than not, what I'm saying is be honest and not greedy. Be honest and not greedy. Do not show as if we know that when you're asking for funding, some of that money will go into your pocket in a salary form or in whatever form. But do not show greed. Avoid it. In fact, you do not show greed because you're not greedy. So don't be greedy. Just solve the problem. Within the process, you'll actually gain some income. Number three, project justification. This is where I say you need to write down your problem in detail. Tell them what your problem is, and more often than not, I would encourage you to use statistics. For example, 30% of maybe you tell them 30% of families living in a certain area of Nairobi usually have thieves at night. Every day, like every night, 30% of families living in a certain area have thieves. Maybe you're trying to solve crime, or 20% of accidents in Kenya are caused by, something like alcohol abuse or negligence, something, just something. And so alcohol consumption, something. You use percentages, use statistics, statistics that can be confirmed by bodies that are well known. Someone in the Kenya Bureau of Statistics has taken some statistics and you can use them. Maybe WHO has taken statistics, you can use them. Use those statistics. They are important for you. If you use a graph, that will still be fine. A graph is easy to remember, to put in the mind instead of just words. You can just draw a pie chart and tell them, out of these, 30% are going through this problem, 10% are going through this problem. And then the next point will be your project objectives. Out of the percentages you have posted up there, you can tell them, we would like to reduce those 30 families that are facing thieves every night. We would like to reduce that number by half. Tell them, at least by the first 2 years, we'd like to reduce that number by half. So that's a clear objective, very, very clear. That's why I'm asking you, use figures, use statistics that can be confirmed. Project implementation, you need to lay down how, the question of how you're going to do that work. Make it also very simple. Do not complicate it. Just state, maybe you're going to train people in this and this area, and then we are going to work with this and this person to do this. Full stop. Very easy. Don't complicate it. The implementing organization, more often than not, will be yourself, and also you can name 1 or 2 partners. and then highlight their roles, their key roles of those implementing organizations. A budget, do not overquote. I would urge you, do not overquote. Now, why do people tend to overquote budgets? People tend to overquote budgets when they are applying for proposals because they are avoiding putting salaries. Put salaries. I don't think there's anybody in the world who doesn't understand that you can do work that is pro bono, but you still need a form of income. So put up salaries. Say 30%. I know in organizations in Kenya, UN, for example, the United Nations at Gigiri and the United Nations agencies, the ones that are around there, UN Women, World Agroforestry Center, most of their projects, salaries is 30 to 35% of the money they're applying for. Assuming you're applying for 10 million, that means 30% of that, around 3 million, will go to salaries for the project period. So if it's for 2 years, the people will have to share 3 million and stick to that. Draw a diagram, a table, a comprehensive table of how you're going to utilize your money. How, if there's any way you're going to be earning income, how you also plan to use that income. And then finally, also not finally, but you can highlight very briefly how you're going to monitor progress and how you're going to evaluate whether you have succeeded in the very, very end. Just say, we are going to evaluate the success of this program by checking how many families actually, are faced by thieves every night. We just walk to that area and ask them, for the past 1 week, have you faced any crime in your as a family? Just that's a very easy way of evaluating. Make it as easy as possible. You see the way you have constructive stories with your friends. Yes, that's how you're making it, just with good grammar. Now, management and personnel, highlight a few of the people who will be working, the most important ones. I think the most important are the top management. Highlight them, highlight those people, and after you highlight them, then after you highlight those people, then you can give their qualifications. Now, this part of sending their CVs and copies of qualifications, I would only do that if it is solicited. If it's unsolicited, I really don't need to add all those details. How are you going to be reporting? Nowadays, we mentioned last week, NGOs usually require you to provide details of how you report to them. It's important. Maybe you can say every quarter. Don't make it too often. Monthly will be too often. I would say every quarter, after every 3 months, every quarter, you can update them on your progress, and that is it. As simple as that. That should not be more than 3 pages, if you ask me. That should not be more than 3 pages, unless the organization you're applying for, they require a lot of information. So the guidelines to preparing bankable project proposals. Bankable means that they will be funded. Step 1 is your project meeting real and urgent needs. So make it as real as possible. Number 2, analyze your proposal for the strengths. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Sometimes you'll find that maybe you do not have good statistics. Just go and find good statistics so that you strengthen it. Making sure the proposal presentation follows the guidelines. If the organization you're applying to or the person you're applying to has guidelines, then make sure that you follow those guidelines. Make sure that you get your budget correct. Don't calculate figures and then in the end they are coming to 30 million, but you cite 35. Make sure that your figures are right. Then number 5, understand how funding applications are evaluated. That's why I've posted that video, just to see. You can also go online and check, what do donors look for? What do donors look for? I want to make it as easy as that. I believe I have answered the 4 questions that we had at the beginning. And so that is it. and I wish to open this forum now for any questions. The forum is open. You can type your questions. Those of you who joined in using the audios, you can ask your questions. So please listen to that recording, and then I will require you, as is the norm, to answer this one question. And I wish to reiterate why I keep saying you answer the question in the discussion forum. We have a question here in the discussion forum, and this is how we do it. You click on the discussion forum, and note that this one will close after 5 p.m. So you can't answer the questions after 5. Click on the discussion forum. I've clicked on mine. It has opened. You will find the questions. Question 1, describe the key components of a project proposal. Please do not refer back to the notes. I have already explained them. Try from the top of your head to see whether you can remember them. And then when I give you the corrections or the comments, I'm sure you will never forget. That's one way of revising. It's very easy actually to revise using these things and never read them again. And number 2, identify the types and schools of thought in proposal writing. When you read the questions, you come here and click on add a new discussion topic. It will open up a subject and a message. In the subject, you can type answers. Then you can type the answers for question 1 here and answers for question 2 here. And then after you're through, you post to forum, and that will basically be the end. So I'm through class. I see majority of us have been able to join us today. If you do not have any question, I think I will only wish to remind you that not all of you did the cut. As you can see, let me quickly show you that not all of you did the cut. I was also not able to check how many of you the cuts, whether all of you were able to submit. Let me do that as you look, so that I don't have to repeat in the next class. I would also encourage you people to ensure. I would also encourage you to ensure that you send apologies to me if you're not going to attend a class. The reason is because at the end of the semester, I'm not the one. I think some of you will be closed out at this rate from doing the exam, which will be very, very unfortunate. Let me just check the results for your cards here. So okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 people did the cut out of a possible 14. This is the class register, and that is the cut. So you can see a few people didn't do, but have not received any requests for makeup. I expect you not to ask me for makeups past this week. It will be unfortunate if you ask me past this week. I may not manage to provide you with them. So please be proactive and ask me for those makeups as soon as possible. I'm through with the class if there is no question. Bernadette, do you have a question? Hussein, Momo, Martin? Okay. Thank you. Please attempt the question in the discussion forum. Right now it's 3 p.m. You can do so by 4 so that I give you the comments. I make my comments on your work and you're able to check by 5 p.m.
I'm okay. I have no question.
All right. Thank you, Martin. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon. I hope to comment on your work before the close of the day.
Yeah, you too. Good day.
Okay.